Hey girlies, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the movie Obsession, and I've seen this movie I think 2 or 3 days ago, and I still cannot stop thinking about it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a video about it. Let me talk about the movie. And don't mind my hair is in a heatless curl right now. I'm gonna take it out after I finish my makeup, but the makeup is also gonna be different. I was thinking, what better way to do a video talking about a horror movie? Well, it's not horror, it's like thriller, but to talk about the movie Obsession while doing the makeup that was in Obsession, the Uncanny Valley. So we're gonna do the Uncanny Valley right here, this makeup. We're gonna be doing that. Am I scared? Yes I am, but we're gonna figure it out. I literally found the lightest shade of foundation that I have at home. I don't even know who this is for. It's super white. So I'm gonna first start off with what I think about the movie. I really love the movie. It's, I think, one of my favorite movies of all time that is like in horror. That's super white. I still didn't see the movie Backrooms, but I really want to see it. So a little backstory of the Obsession. So Obsession was directed and written by Trey Barker. This movie was actually filmed in 2024, but was in a film festival for around 2 years. So it's just now being released to everyone else. And to be honest, I am shocked because literally a lot of YouTubers are making movies, are producing movies, and I really love that. And another thing is he originally started with comedy skits, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really know. I didn't really look into his work a lot. I just know Obsession, but I know that he does comedy. And his friend, actually, the actor who played Ian in Obsession, is actually one of his closest friends that he used to do comedy skits with. So that was a surprise. I didn't know that. Basically, he has a couple more oh my god, I'm super white and pink. We're gonna figure it out. He has actually a couple more movies on YouTube. If you search his name up, you can actually see it. I haven't watched his other work, but I really want to watch it, but I don't want to watch it alone because it is horror. Anyway, let's get into the movie. So Obsession is basically a movie about a guy who gets kind of obsessed with a girl, but not in a way that is creepy. He just really likes her and wants to, you know, open up to her and kind of be with her, but he knows that she would never be with a guy like him. So basically there are 4 friends who work together at this music store. So the story starts off with a guy called Baron, but everyone calls him Bear. He gets this crush on a girl named Nikki. Nikki and Bear were, I think, in high school, if I'm not mistaken, and they also have mutual friends who is Ian and Sarah. They're this 4-person friend group who work at this music store, which is owned by Sarah's father. And they all graduated from high school. They're all waiting their acceptance letter from university. You guys already look scary as hell. Anyway, so the movie starts off, the starting scene is him confessing his love to this one girl, and Ian is right there as well. He's kind of practicing on how he's gonna open up to Nikki, but Ian is always coming very negatively, and he's like, I don't think you should do it, this and that. Like, he's always telling these negative stuff and stuff that would make Nikki mad. For example, he's telling Bear to call Nikki Freaky Nikki, even though Nikki hates being called Freaky Nikki. So basically he's trying to sabotage his confession. Afterwards, they go to work, and after work he goes home and he has a cat named Sandy. As soon as he walks from the door, he finds Sandy dead on the floor. And Sandy's death is caused by Bear's grandma's oxydone pills. So basically he's staying at his grandma's place, just alone without his grandma. So he has his grandma's oxydone laying around, and Sandy gets into the pill bottle and unfortunately dies. That's how we find Sandy dead. But here's the thing, the first scene, exactly the first scene, you can already tell that Bear has some problems. You know, if you really watch the scene, if you paid attention, you can tell that there is a problem going on with Bear, because the moment he steps into the house and sees Sandy dead, the first reaction is, what did you do to yourself? And like, your cat is dead, okay? Your cat is dead because of you, because you left either the bottle of pills open or you left the pills laying around, because there's no way a cat can get inside the pill bottle because it is childproof. Like, it's very hard for you to open. Oh, I just put too much. His first immediate thought was, what did you do? Instead of, oh my god, what did I do? Right? We're gonna get back to that later. Afterwards, he takes Sandy and he basically throws her in the trash and cleans up all the mess. Now here's the thing, he starts crying, bawling his eyes out, because he's very sad about his cat dying and his grandmother dying as well. Afterwards, Nikki all of a sudden calls him, and here we can tell that they never actually like fully talked with each other a lot, because he kind of gets surprised on why Nikki's calling him. He opens the call and he's like, yeah, what's up? And she's like, could you please come to the bar tonight? We're all gonna get together and I want you to come as well. There's something important. And he, at first, because he's very sad about his cat and his grandma, he's like, I have things to do, I can't really come. And then Nikki reveals that it's actually her last week of working at that store, because she's gonna quit. She's not gonna be able to see them again. Then Bear is like, okay, you know what, you should have told me that sooner, I'm gonna come. So he decides to go to the bar, but before that, on the call, Nikki breaks her crystal necklace. She's like, oh no, like my crystal necklace broke. So Bear, he wants to be this nice guy, he wants to get her a gift. All of a sudden is like, you know what, let me go get her another crystal necklace. But here's the thing, he does not know anything about crystals, he does not know anything about you know. So when he goes to the shop, he's looking around and already the vibe in the shop is very weird. He's looking for these necklaces and stuff, but he doesn't know which one to pick, and out of the corner of his eye he sees this box. He sees a couple of boxes and it is the One Wish willow, and he's like, you know what, instead of that, let me get her a wish. You know, it's a cute gesture. Before buying it, basically the store owner, she's like, be careful with what you do with this, and if your wish goes wrong, don't come running back to me, it's not refundable, you can't make more than one wish. She's basically telling him that it is, you know, you can't do another wish and you can't come complaining to me. Me personally, if I heard what that saleswoman said to me in real life, I would leave that box, I would leave that crystal shop and never enter foot again, because a normal sane person after hearing that would leave it. But Bear, being Bear, he was like, you know what, maybe it's a marketing strategy, whatever. So he decides to buy it. On the next scenes when they're at the bar, you can see that Bear is trying to open up to Nikki, but it is just not working out. He doesn't have enough confidence to open up to her. And we can see that Nikki is this very gorgeous, she's this very outgoing, confident person, and unlike to Bear, Bear is very introverted and he doesn't have this confidence, and he's this quote-unquote nice guy. And we can already tell by their encounter and like how they're speaking to each other, they have not had a normal conversation. It's like a very platonic friendship, right? On Nikki's end, she just sees him as a friend, but unfortunately Bear really likes her, right? He thinks he loves her. So afterwards, they're gonna go bar hopping to another bar. They want to, you know, continue the night, but Nikki is like, I'm very tired, can you please just take me home? I just want to go home. So Bear sees this opportunity and says, of course, I can take you home. They're in the car, they're going home, and he's just gonna drop off Nikki and basically go home as well. But on the way, he's trying to like kind of hinting that he likes her, but like Nikki's kind of picking it up, but she doesn't want to assume things, and she explains that she wants to be a writer. And he's like, oh, so what, you're gonna write romantic stories? And she's like, no, love stories. He's like, oh, it's the same thing. Not the same thing. Then they come to her home, Nikki goes out of the car, she's gonna leave, and all of a sudden Bear wants to call her Freaky Nikki to grab her attention, and she's like, yo, what the hell, like, what's going on? Why are you calling me that? You know that I hate that. And then she's like, if you like me, this is the time for you to tell me that you like me. And this dumb, he says, no, I think we're just friends. I see you as just my friend. She's like, okay. So she goes inside. He's about to give her the gift, but then he doesn't give her the gift. Then he's like, why the hell did I do that? Why did I just call her my friend? I could have literally opened up to her. So he's like, you know what? I had this wish. It was gonna be her gift, but whatever, I'm just gonna use it. So he uses the wish, he takes it out of the box. It makes this little noise. It makes this like short music, and then you can wish for whatever you want to wish for, then break it, right? So his first thought was, let me wish for Nikki to love me more than anyone in this world. He breaks the wish. Now, in my opinion, if you have a wish, why wouldn't you just wish for more confidence to go up and ask her, you know? Because he knew that Nikki would never like him. Nikki would never love him. So he's like, you know what? I want Nikki to love me more than anyone in this world. He wishes for that. 2 seconds later, mind you, Nikki's already inside the house. 2 seconds later, there's a pause, and you can see Nikki outside of her house, just standing. She comes to the car and she's acting this weird, bubbly, flirtatious type way. And Bear's like, oh my god, what's going on? Like, you never act like this. And she's kind of hinting that she wants him to come into the house. And Bear's like, you're drunk. I think you're acting this way because you're drunk. And then Nikki is like, I'm just so sad because my cat died. Mind you, it was Bear's cat who died, not Nikki's. I still don't know why she said that. I don't have a theory on that. I didn't find anything else. Like, I didn't find anyone else talking about it. So if you have an idea why, please let me know. But she says my cat died, and then Bear's like, no, my cat died. And she's like, oh, sorry, I meant your cat died. Then she's like laughing and like flirting. Then she kind of looks to her right and sees herself in the mirror of the car, and she freaks out. She's like, oh my god, what am I doing? I'm acting so weird, and snaps back again, and now she's flirtatious again. So you can see at that split second that Nikki kind of got possessed, but the director said she was not possessed. It was like an alter, another Nikki, an altered version of Nikki. So she's not possessed, she's an altered version of Nikki. Anyway, after that, she gets into the car and she says, please, like, Bear, I need you. My dad is dying from cancer and I feel so bad. I feel so sad and alone. Can you please help me? I want to be with you. I don't want to be alone. So Bear was like, okay, it's okay. We can just go to mine. So they end up going to his, and everything is going great. They're like having fun, da da da. And then Bear's like, you sleep in the bedroom, I'll sleep inside, so, you know, you can just be on your own. And Nikki, she refuses. She's like, no, please, I don't want to be alone. Can you please stay with me? So Bear ends up going to sleep with her, but she's acting very weird. She's like taking off her clothes all of a sudden. And it's like weird, you know, you can tell it's not something a real person would do. Afterwards, they start to get closer and they start making out, and she's on top of him. They're making out, and all of a sudden she starts freaking out and screaming at the top of her lung, and she pushes him. And at that, again, when she's screaming and when she pushes him, real Nikki is there again. Afterwards, Bear's like freaked out. She's like, yo, what the hell? Like, what happened? Why did you do that? And she's like, oh, I just had a panic attack. I'm fine, I'm fine. And here's the thing. When she's screaming, it's real Nikki. And then all of a sudden, the fake Nikki comes and she's like, oh, baby, it's okay. I was just having a panic attack. And she's acting all this lovey-dovey and just like, you know, this weird, it's like an entity trying to be a person, but fails at being a person because the entity doesn't know how to feel as a person. You know, it just looks very weird and unsettling and disturbing. So after that, they start to date. You know, we see a couple of montages of them having fun and like cooking together, you know, watching movies together, this and that. And then slowly we start to see that Bear is kind of losing feelings for Nikki. Like, he's getting sick of the sexual stuff all the time. You know, Nikki's looking at him, he's like turning her face away. Nikki wants to do something, he's like no, let's continue watching, this and that. You can see that Bear is losing interest. So now Nikki kind of knows what's going on, so she's kind of going crazy now and then. When Bear doesn't give her attention, she kind of is like, what's going on? It's literally like an obsessed person. Okay, anyway, so afterwards he's sleeping, he wakes up around 3 a.m. and all of a sudden he sees that Nikki has been watching him sleep in the middle of the night. And she's like kind of in the corner looking at him, and she's like, I'm just watching you sleep. You're so cute when you sleep. And then he's like, yo, get back to bed. And she starts acting very weirdly, and she's like moving very weird. She's screaming. She has this like flower pot kind of moving with it. It's like a weird scene. So now we come to the scene where Bear is gonna go to work and Nikki is not gonna be working that day. So he says bye to her. He's like, you know, I'm gonna go to work. She's like, can I please come with you? And he's like, no, you don't have to do that. You know, I'm gonna come back after work. You just stay here, because he can already tell she's kind of going crazy. And she's like, I made you lunch, you know, here's your lunch. She gives the lunch, and he turns around and he sees this whole door duct taped. It literally is, it's basically she's trying to tell him don't go. And he kind of gets freaked out, but he's like, oh, okay, like, see you after work, babe, bye. And he forcefully opens the door and he leaves. Nikki just stands in front of the door, waves at him, you know, she's just looking at him smiling, and he goes to work. Then we can see him at work. He is basically, you know, sitting with Sarah, you know, working, and Sarah's like, oh, this is my last chance. I need to get into the school. I need to get into school, you know, my dad's gonna be very mad if I don't. She opens the letter with her father, and then she comes back and she's like very sad, and she sits next to Bear, and she's like, I did not get into school. And she's like, I'm waiting for one last letter. So while they're sitting, they're speaking, and kind of Sarah lays on Bear's shoulder, and we can kind of tell that there's some flirtatious thing going on. Sarah kind of likes him, and before this wish, Nikki kind of told Bear that Sarah kind of had a crush on Bear. So we already kind of know that Sarah likes Bear, right? So afterwards, he opens his lunch. He's gonna eat his lunch, and when he opens the lunch box, he sees a photo of him that says you, and then another photo of Bear sleeping and Nikki taking a selfie of Bear sleeping and her, and it says not me. So basically real Nikki is trying to tell him that, yo, that's not me, like, that is a demon, that's not me. And Bear, being Bear, doesn't really understand it. He thinks it's a joke. So then there's another note. The note is, you know, they have this inside joke going on about him being the food critic and whatever. It basically says my little food critic, and then 2 dots, and then it says cat, right? The note is in Sarah's hand, so Bear does not see the note at first, and she's kind of making fun. She's like, oh, you guys are like so sweet, so bubbly, da da da. What does that mean? Like, what does my food critic, tell me your verdict about this? And then it says cat. She's like, what does that mean? And at that moment, he realizes that Nikki has cooked Bear's cat and fed it to him as lunch. So he starts to throw up, and it was a very disturbing scene. I felt sick to my stomach just about the thought of eating cat. It was weird. And mind you, I forgot to tell you guys this, the cat, you know, that she threw in the trash, the first day they got to the house, my dad has cancer and he's gonna die, this and that, you know, the first day they got to the house, yeah. And the next morning when Bear had woken up after they hooked up and everything, he goes to the kitchen and he finds his dead cat on the floor in the kitchen with candles all around the cat. And then Nikki's like, you know, it was sweet, I made a memorial for you, for the cat. And Bear's like, why would you do that? Like, that is so, like, why would you do that? And then he kind of gets creeped out, but he doesn't take anything as a sign. And then now she has cooked the cat, and mind you, this cat has been dead for a few days now, you know, it's been dead for a few days. She cooked the cat and fed it to him. do whatever you want with that information. They are like in the store, and you know, Ian's like, yo, like this is like what's going on. And he's like, Nikki's acting very weird. I was like, Nikki's acting very weird, like I don't know what's going on, I don't know what to do with her anymore. And he's like, you're taking advantage of her, kind of, because she's going through a bad state. And he's like, I don't know, maybe she's starting to use drugs again, because apparently she used drugs before. She has like a past with drugs. So Ian and Bear, they're driving around, and then Ian is like, if your relationship is not weird and it's like, it's fine, it's a normal relationship, then come to my party today. I don't think your girlfriend would mind you having a boys' night, you know? And then he's like, yeah, for sure, I'm gonna come, I'm gonna ask her. Remember when I said that Nikki was standing in front of the door and smiling and saying bye? Yeah, when he comes back, Nikki's at the same spot. She peed all over the floor. She has these bodily fluids all over the floor, and it basically shows that she was so obsessed and she's so attached to him that she cannot do anything when he's not around. So she just stays there when he's not there, you know? She cannot move, she can't do anything when he's not around. So afterwards, he's like, oh, hi, like what's going on? She's like, oh my god, I look disgusting. Like, oh, you're back, I'm so happy. I look so bad, I'm gonna clean up for you, don't worry, this and that. She's like, I'm gonna clean this place up as well, don't worry. So she goes to the bathroom and she's taking a shower, and Bear's already scared. He's like, so Ian invited me to go to this guy's night. And she's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get ready and we can go together. And he's like, no, I'm gonna go alone. And then you can hear the water stop. And then she starts shouting and like breaking stuff inside. And she's like, but Sarah is gonna go, and you're telling me not to go, but Sarah is gonna go, and this and that. You don't want me to go. And he's like, no, babe, I want you to go. I'm sorry, I want you to come with me. She's like, you should have said it in the beginning. And she's acting all crazy. Then we cut to the next scene, and they're in Ian's house together. And apparently there's other girls as well, so Ian was lying. So Sarah and everyone else is there. They're playing these games. It's a game night, you know, they're at home. And one of the games is Jenga. So basically you remove the Jenga and there's like a dare underneath. So one of the guys, he pulls it out, and the dare is like, change places with anyone in the seating area. So he changed seats with Bear and starts sitting next to Nikki, right? So Bear now is sitting next to Sarah. Sarah's on his left. It's Nikki's turn. So Nikki takes one of the Jengas, and she apparently needs to tell a story, and it's this very freaky, weird story, and everyone gets silent. Like the whole house gets silent and starts listening to Nikki, because it is a wild story. She's like, okay, thank you, and sits down like nothing happened. Then it's Bear's turn. So now Bear, his dare is kiss the person on your left. Who's on his left? Sarah. Then Nikki stands up, and then she goes like, and she goes and pulls Sarah's chair. And everyone, mind you, everyone who's playing is like dead silent. They're just like looking around like, what the hell's going on? She pulls Sarah's chair, she bends down and looks at Bear, and she's like waiting for the kiss. And Bear's like very over at this point. He's like, he does not want Nikki to be acting this way. So he just goes like, gives her a peck and just moves around. And after the kiss, she splits back into this real Nikki. Like real Nikki takes over the body again, and she's like, what the fuck? What am I doing? And then she immediately like starts shouting and like pushing herself backwards. And then here's where my theory is, at that moment she takes this bottle, she's like shouting, screaming, real Nikki is screaming like what the hell, and the body is still fake Nikki. So she takes the bottle, smashes it on the table, breaks the bottle, and starts hitting her head, hitting herself. And what I think, my theory is that when she's doing that, it's actually fake Nikki trying to shut real Nikki up by smacking the bottle on Nikki's body, you know, on her, like her head, so real Nikki would shut up. But she doesn't die, because if she dies, then fake Nikki dies as well. And then everyone is like shouting, the whole room goes like silent, and they're like screaming like, Bear, go take your girlfriend, help your girlfriend, what the hell? And Bear just sitting in the chair with a bottle of beer and just like, because it's not the first time that Nikki hits her head. It's happened a couple of times before this scene, when real Nikki appears and starts talking, fake Nikki starts hitting real Nikki, like her head. And then, you guys, I'm actually kind of scaring myself right now. And then they go home. Ian is like, yo, take your girlfriend, like, get out of my house. So they go home, and he's like, what is wrong with you? Why are you acting this way? And mind you, Nikki's whole head is like bleeding, and there's like scars everywhere. Like, it's a whole shit show. Then she goes, and he's like, why are you acting like this? I just want you to be normal. I want normal Nikki. I want you to be normal. And she's like, I am normal. He's like, no, I want you to be Nikki. And she's like, I can be Nikki. And they're just screaming. And then he's like, I want you to be Nikki. And she just blurts out and starts screaming. She's like, I can't be Nikki. And after that, you can see this split second where she kind of gets into real Nikki as well, and she starts walking backwards. And my other theory is the reason why she's walking backwards is because real Nikki and fake Nikki are trying to fight over the body, and they're kind of like, real Nikki's trying to go forward, you know, or backwards, and then the real or fake. One of them is going forward, one of them is going backwards, so there's this motion that looks backwards, you know, and it looks very creepy and very weird. And then you can see real Nikki kind of lunge forward, but fake Nikki stops her, and she's like, just stops. And Bear is on the floor and he's screaming and he's like, stop, I want you to stop, this and that. And he's like, I think you should sleep in the bedroom tonight, like take the bed on your own. And he's like, I think we should give a little break and this and that. And she's like, okay. And then like after screaming and walking backwards, she's like, okay. She goes to the bedroom, then she starts smashing things. And he's like, I think I should sleep at Ian's. So she starts smashing things and she comes back and she basically starts describing what death is like. She starts saying, oh, if you go, you're gonna find me cold and this and that. Like basically explaining to him what death feels like. Oh my god, what the hell? Thank god I'm doing this like at daytime. Mind you, my friend is coming over in like 15 minutes and she is deadly scared of anything that has to do with this. Yeah, I told her to stay in the living room. And then the next scene, he goes to the car, he does not know what to do, and it's like very weird. He calls the One Wish Willow, and a guy picks up and he's super chill. He's like, yo, like, what's up? He kind of sounds like a pothead, you know? And then he's like, does she actually love me? Is this real? I don't know what's going on. It's actually so scary, this and that. And he's like, what can I do? And then the guy on the phone, he's like, do you want to cancel your wish? Guess what Bear said? No. He said, no, I don't want to cancel my wish, but can I alter my wish? Even then, you can tell, even then, that son of... He is thinking about himself and not about Nikki, because he knows that's not Nikki. He knows there's so many hints that it's not Nikki. She even said it herself, not me. Like a smart, decent person would understand that, you know, and he knows now it's a possessed Nikki. It's not real Nikki, because he's like, I want real Nikki. I want Nikki. I want you to be normal. And she's like, I can be. Whatever. And then he's like, no, you can alter your wish. And then he's like, okay, I want to cancel my wish. He's like, you can't do that either. I just wanted to know your intentions. That's why I asked you. So now he can't like alter or cancel his wish. And he was like, so how do I get rid of it? The guy on the phone was like, you have to like kill yourself. And then he closed the phone. He has this panic attack, whatever. Anyway, next scene, they go to bed, they're sleeping, and mind you, every time they sleep there's these weird things happening. She's like screaming, like Bear's about to get up and she's like, stay. She's just screaming. She's still watching him, by the way, sleep weirdly. Then one night he's just laying down. He's not really sleeping. Nikki fully asleep. The phone goes off. Bear's phone. He doesn't answer it. Second time goes off. Then he checks. Guess who? Sarah. Okay, and oh, I forgot the scene, but before they went to Ian's house, they were at a restaurant, right? And at the restaurant, Ian calls, so Bear goes to talk, and he's like, yo, I need to tell you something. Ian tells Bear that actually Nikki's father is well alive and he does not have cancer, and the hospital that she keeps telling, he calls every single hospital and they've never heard this man's name. He's apparently like working and he's fine, and apparently Nikki hates her father and they're not even speaking. So now Bear knows that Nikki was lying, and when he goes to confront her in the restaurant, Nikki, you probably saw that scene, she stands up and she's like, no, don't do that. And then Bear's like, shut up, sit down, like, why are you doing that? So I forgot to say that scene, but like all of these things are happening. Is it not clocking to you? Anyway, then he looks at his phone. Sarah has texted him. She's like, please come to the park. And mind you, it's again 3 a.m. and she's like, come to the park, I'm waiting for you, it's very important, I need to talk to you. And then Bear looks over and Nikki is still sleeping, but he's like, I can't risk it. So he's like, no, just text me. Y'all, peekaboo, I kind of did more of my makeup because I needed to charge my camera. Anyway, so afterwards he sees, and Sarah is like, you either come to the park where we always sit, or I'm gonna come to your house. And he's like, I can't really risk it, you know? So he's like, okay, I'm gonna come. So he slowly gets out of the bed and Nikki's still sleeping, right? And all of a sudden he just hears, please kill me. He looks back. Real Nikki is talking through fake Nikki who's asleep. And she's like, please be quiet, please kill me, please just kill me. And you know what this dumb says? He looks to her. He can tell. Now he knows, like he already knew, but now he fully knows that Nikki is possessed, right? It's not real Nikki. And she's like, real Nikki is begging him, please, I'm miserable, please just kill me. Anyway, my friend is here now. And remember when he called and he was like, can I alter my wish? Can I like, or cancel it? The guy, before even telling the guy on the phone who he was talking about, the guy's like, you want to talk to Nikki? And on the phone, you can just hear Nikki screaming and just shouting. Anyway, he looks at her. She's like, please kill me, please kill me. He looks at her, dead, and says, what's so bad about loving me? Mind you, Nikki lost her whole autonomy. She lost her body. She cannot live. And he looks at her. It's all because of him as well. He looks at her and he's like, what's so bad about loving me? At that point, at that moment, the whole movie, I was already irritated. I was irritated as and I was like, when is this gonna die? She's taking my video. Afterwards, he goes to the park. It's 3 a.m. Honestly, here I agree on whatever Nikki is going to be doing. He goes to the park, he's talking with Sarah, and then Sarah kind of tells him that she actually likes him. She's like, you know, I was on your left anyway, and you know, you should be with someone that is better. And then she also says that apparently Nikki and Ian have been hooking up, and that's why basically Ian didn't want really him to open up to Nikki, you know, in the beginning of the scene. While they're talking, and when she says that I like you, like it should have been me, we should have been together, Nikki out of nowhere comes, puts her head from the window, smashes the window, and then takes Sarah's head and starts smashing her head to the steering wheel, and Sarah is gone. Sarah's dead. And the whole time Bear's in the other passenger seat just screaming and watching his friend die. Then he basically goes, I also fixed my mouth. Shocked. He's so shocked about the fact that Nikki has killed Sarah, because now he actually saw Nikki kill someone. Before that, she was just giving harm to herself and acting weird, but now she killed his friend and potential crush. Then Nikki is like, it's all your fault. It's because of you. You did this to me. And then she's like, I'm gonna get this cleaned up. Don't worry, it's on me. Then basically he goes, and mind you, the reason that she wanted to also meet with Bear was because she got this letter from her university and she wanted to open it with Bear to see if she got accepted or not to art school. Then Bear takes the car, Nikki takes Sarah's body because she's gonna dispose of Sarah's body and clean it up, you know? And then Bear goes and takes the car somewhere unknown, and he just starts screaming and shouting and crying. And then he sees the letter next to him, he takes it and opens it for Sarah. Sarah got accepted to the uni. She was gonna go to art school and she needed to go to university, otherwise her father would like basically disown her, you know? He was like, this is your last chance, whatever. Then afterwards he's hysterical. He goes back to the shop, the crystal shop. He's like, I need to buy another wish, I need to buy another wish. And then the guy's like, you can only use one wish, or you can get another person to wish for you, you know, to take whatever you wished for back. So he takes 2 willow wishes, right? He goes to Ian's house. Mind you, he's covered in blood, and everyone in the shop is like, okay, and no one is questioning the fact that he's covered in blood. He goes to Ian's house, and then he's like, I need you to wish for this and that, and he's like, you can get Nikki however you want, I don't care. And Ian's like, yo, it was never like that, da da da. Ian doesn't believe anything, and he's like, please, I just need you to wish for this. Ian doesn't care. He doesn't believe. He thinks it's bullshit. He takes the willow wish and he's like, I wish for $1 billion. Boom, breaks it. Guess what? $1 billion start flying from the ceiling. He gets very, very mad, and he gets very upset. He leaves the house to go to his house where Nikki is. The moment he steps inside the house, there are candles around the table, and he looks to the left. Sarah's dead body like this, tied to the chair, fully naked, covered in blood. And then the back, Nikki. And he's like, hey Nikki, you would do anything for me, wouldn't you? Please come next to me. And Nikki all of a sudden appears. She's like, yes, it's all your fault. You wanted her, you wanted this, and you look at her dress, and mind you, you know when I said that Sarah was there dead naked, Nikki wore Sarah's dress, had Sarah's hair, and she also had tattoos on her body because Sarah is a tattoo artist and she has tattoos on her body. And I actually just saw a video talking about the restaurant scene when she was like, no, no, no. At that scene, her actual, like, her costume was meant to imitate the first scene when we first saw Sarah, her outfit, because she's slowly trying to be Sarah. If you can hear the dishes, my mom is doing the dishes. As he's like, oh my god, what is happening? And Sarah's all over him. She's covered in blood. The house is covered in blood. Sarah's over there dead and naked, tied to a chair. And it's like this weird thing. And then all of a sudden, Ian starts knocking on the door. He's like, dude, I'm a billionaire now. I have money, da da da. And then he's shouting, Bear is shouting, don't come in. The second Ian opens the door, Nikki has a gun. She shoots Ian. Now Ian is dead as well. And she starts to imitate, as in like she's gonna kill herself. She's like, I'm gonna kill myself, da da da. Why don't you love me, this and that. She's full on obsessed. And then he calms Nikki down. He's like, I love you, this and that. Takes the pistol, runs to the bathroom, like locks the door. Then Nikki's banging on the door. She's like, let me in, please. If you want space, space is what I'm gonna give you. And she's like begging him to come outside, and she's screaming, breaking stuff. And Bear is trying to kill himself. He is not brave enough to shoot himself. So what he does is he opens the cabinet and takes the pill of oxygen that his cat died with. He takes the pills, he puts them all in his mouth, is trying to overdose. Remember when I said he had 2 wishes and one of them Ian used, the other one in his bag? Then we hear the willow wish sound, and then we hear it break, and then a split second later, we can see Bear transform into this obsessive person for Nikki. He goes out and they're having this look, and this is the first time in the movie that you can see Bear actually looking at Nikki like he loves her. So what I'm trying to say is Bear never loved Nikki. He just loved the idea of Nikki. He never loved Nikki. He just wanted someone to desperately choose him, to put him above everyone else, to just be chosen. He didn't love her. And then after they hug, all of a sudden Bear starts to overdose. He has foam coming out of his mouth because, you know, he tried to vomit it out, but he failed because Nikki wished for him to be obsessed. The moment he full-on dies, fake Nikki is crying, like full-on crying, having a meltdown. The moment he dies, real Nikki snaps. Oh my god, I look scary as hell. What the hell? Real Nikki now has to deal with the consequences of Bear's actions, and then that's how the movie ends. It was a crazy movie. I was actually shocked. Like, what the hell? And now I open my hair. This is obsessed Nikki if she had a blowout or heatless curls. But that's literally it. I think the movie was the best movie I ever saw this year, and one of the best horror movies. I wouldn't say it was horror. Here's the thing, I wouldn't usually get shocked or like jump scared very easily, but this movie, they shot it in a way where it's literally when you least expect it. Like, especially the car scene. Oh my god, I was literally startled. But do you guys like my makeup? How does that look? Do I look gorgeous enough? But yeah, in my opinion, Bear was a narcissist, and the real obsessed person here was Bear and not Nikki. So that's my take. And I also think that Nikki would like come back to reality, the real Nikki, every time she kind of saw her reflection. And it's very weird to me that how she got so obsessed, she literally could not move her body. She could not function without Bear being there. And I also love how the costume is kind of like showing how she gets obsessed a little by little with how Sarah is and tries to imitate Sarah because she knows that Bear kind of, you know, maybe would have a crush on her. But here's the thing, in my opinion, the sandwich scene of the cat and, you know, scenes like this is because, in my opinion, Bear has no personality, and he thinks that he would have a personality if Nikki would love him. I feel like he's trying to find his personality through Nikki loving him. And I also think that Nikki literally doesn't know what Bear likes because Bear doesn't have any personality going on for him. So she thinks, yeah, Bear loves sandwiches, Bear loves his cat, let me make a sandwich out of his cat, because she doesn't know how to act like a human. Anyway, oh my god, I look scary as hell. My friend is literally scared of me right now. Do you want to say anything, Aldra? Scared. If you like this, or if you want any other movies that you want me to explain or rate or tell whatever, you could always tell me in the comments. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys are not scared. I'm actually kind of scaring myself, but I'm gonna go take some videos with this makeup, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you guys so much. Bye.